going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 44 of Destination Talk. I'm John Paz.
And I am Harry, and we are once again coming to you from Chop Studios, located at 750 Route 34 in Matawan, New Jersey. And a big thank you to our show sponsor, the Academy, located in Garwood. Today, we are joined by Gianni Principato. Just finished up his 5th year at Sacred Heart University, where he was a right guard and a left guard. Gianni, we welcome you to the show. How's everything going today?
How you guys doing? I appreciate you guys having me, and everything is great.
No, thank you very much for coming on a Saturday morning with us. So, can you kind of build a little bit more about yourself? You know, where you're from, where you played your high school ball, and kind of just let our audience know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, I'm from Linden, New Jersey. Growing up there, went through public school all the way up until middle school, and then my parents wanted to shift me into private school. So for me, that was a transition that I'd never been through before. I started out at Bishop R, or now St. Thomas Aquinas. That's where I met you,
Right.
Coach Harry. And then from there, I didn't think it was the best fit for me to develop. I thought like the program was lacking certain things that I felt like I needed. And then I ended up going down the road to St. Joe's in Metuchen. And there, I feel like I honestly wish I went there earlier. It was a great change for me. It helped me get a clear head. It kept me focused. It was a different going from a school that was co-ed and then all boys school. Now the main thing is the main thing, right? So you're
Right.
in there every day. You're getting your schoolwork done, and then it's football. It's everything that you need to do is all right there.
Yeah, having I've never worked at St. Joe's the way I did when it was Bishop R, but having quite a few guys that have played and are currently playing over there, at least at that time, it was very different. I know St. Thomas Aquinas has gone in a different direction, and their program has certainly improved. I guess that just comes with time when people at the top make different decisions.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would probably say they're pretty equal right now in terms of like their program skill, but I think you can attest to this as well, that it was kind of it was very different back then. If like we say like this is like
well, I mean, go back to Aldo. I mean,
7.
basically when Aldo was a freshman, so I mean he's already out of college.
Yeah, so I will say like 7+ years ago.
Yes,
it was very different.
It was different, but it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed those 3 years working with those guys, and obviously when I first met you. But so can you tell us a little bit more? So you ended up with football, but were there other sports before football that then kind of helped lead you in that direction?
Yeah, growing up, I actually played. I know it might be hard to believe, but I played a lot of travel soccer. And like growing up, my father, he would always like be the coach in like our rec leagues and other leagues that we were participated in, and he was very big on making people like do stuff they didn't want to do. So if you came onto the team, everybody would rotate in goalie, everybody would rotate on defense, everybody would rotate on offense, like letting people understand that there's different parts to the game, and like you can't always be the star of the show or this or that. So that was very humbling. And sometimes if you had kids who didn't, or I would always end up getting the short end of the stick, and I would have to be the goalie or stuff like that. But all those things like that builds character, and you go through that. I played basketball, baseball. I did all those things, but for me, I really wanted to play football. So I didn't even play tackle football until 8th grade. In Linden, they had a middle school team, and I think we played like maybe 4 games, and that was some of the most fun I ever had. And then from there, my mom, she was like, "Yeah, you could play football now, like with this, that," but all because she didn't want me to get hurt, this or that. Meanwhile, I was 6'1" going into my freshman year at St. Thomas Aquinas. But it's funny to look back on it now, but. Yeah, and then I played basketball when I was at St. Thomas Aquinas, and then when I went to St. Joe's, I shifted to wrestling. I actually wrestled with John at the Regions, I think it was, in Union. I forgot what it was. Yeah.
Yep, Regions were at Union High School every year.
Yeah, And then I think when we were in the locker room, it was right next to me. So
So
yeah.
growing up, who was the biggest influence in your early career?
I would have to say the guy who ran the rec league in Linden, and his name is DK. He sadly ended up taking his own life, but he was a great influence on a bunch of kids growing up. Between like back then when I was growing up, the PAL, the baseball field was flooded with people. The basketball rec league at what was it? I think it's like 11 a.m. Whenever you had games, flooded with people from Linden. Like the soccer fields flooded with people. I mean, it's a shame to like see how it's going now, but definitely that was like the heart of the town. Was everybody was going to the sports on those days, and everybody wanted to compete, which it's sad because I feel like the way, even just the way the culture is in the world now, it's just like it's not like that anymore.
Yeah, definitely things are a little more challenging and at times complicated, I think. So as you were going through your high school career, at what point did you realize, hey, there's an opportunity to go to the next level?
Um, I always believed that there was an opportunity. I mean, I would say I had done a play. I want to say it was my sophomore year, and it was when I was still at um, St. Thomas Aquinas, and I had a Coach Vidge run up to me. It was I had like did like a crackback block on some kid or something like that, and
Right.
then he pulled me off to the sideline, and he was like, "Do you think this stuff is gonna fly at the next level?" And I was like, all right, like, it took me a minute to like process that. So I'm like, all right, this guy really thinks I could already play at the next level. I'm a sophomore, but I didn't think I was getting the light, or I wasn't in the right positions that I needed. So I'm like, all right, I just got to make a little change. Then when I did that, I went to I was already getting some traction when I was there, and then when I went to St. Joe's, I feel like I just had a bigger platform. And then as soon as I got there, I played my first season, and I got a lot of traction under my name. And then I would see some kids like get offers, and I'm like, okay, they're going to that school. I feel like I'm better than them. But it was always a competitive. It was never like a cocky mindset.
Right.
So yeah.
So can you talk a little bit about your recruiting process as a whole and what made you ultimately decide to go to Sacred Heart?
So at first I was getting a lot of like Division II offers, then I had a few Division I offers, but every offer I got, because of the timing, it was all COVID. Schools did not want to hand out money. So I had a lot of offers that were walk-on offers. I ended up deciding between three schools. I had Franklin Pierce, Long Island University, and Sacred Heart. So Franklin Pierce, they offered me a full ride. I think it was only like you had to pay like 1,000 a semester or something like that, like nothing. And then I went up there, visited it. For me, that was just like a huge like culture shift. Like there's nothing out there. It's super outdoorsy. The school is in the middle of nowhere. The only thing next to it is a Domino's and a Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh boy.
It's like
New
yeah,
Hampshire, by
there's
the way,
nothing
right?
out there, huh?
Yeah. Up in New Hampshire.
Yeah, New Hampshire. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't know if I could do this. Like, and it was something out of a movie because they brought me up there. The coach had he had got this thing. I forgot what it was, but he had got it like overnight. And it's a thing where he like talks, but he can't move like the side of his face. He's like, all right, it'll be good in like a week or two. And I was like, what? Like this, it was something out of a movie. And then I went to LIU, and then I was getting recruited by, I think he's now the head coach at a Pope John, Dominique Gaston. And they brought me in. When I went over there, the program to me, like, they weren't that good. And I had, like, seen the facilities. I wasn't too, like, impressed. But that was the only thing I got to see was their facilities. I didn't get to see the dorms. I didn't get to be taken through anywhere else. Like, so, and then Sacred Heart came around, and they were like, come up, take a tour. We're gonna send you pictures of like our facilities, because like you can't go into our facilities now because of COVID, but when you come up here, they'll have a tour, this, that, and everything will be good. I said, all right. So I did that. I loved it when I first came up here. Like when I came up here, everything was in the process of being built up. It's totally different from when I got here. Like it's definitely like they have an $80 million hockey arena. The campus is so much more built up. It looks like Hogwarts over here. Like the way everything is built up. Like it looks like castles. But yeah, like the people I met here, the coaches, everything is just like I'll have friends and I'll definitely have these connections like for my entire life.
I know at
So
one time, and I don't know if it's still the case, but Bobby Valentine was the athletic director at Sacred Heart. Is he still there?
I don't think he is, but we have our like gym or like the rec center we have here
Right.
is called the Bobby Valentine, or we just call it the BV.
Yeah, I guess when you bring a professional mindset into an organization such as Sacred Heart, that's why you saw some improvements to the facilities, especially seeing him come in, and he definitely helped.
I mean,
build things up. I would imagine.
Yeah, they built up that hockey arena. They just fixed. Yeah, they built up the hockey arena. They just finished building up the basketball arena. They made it all nice and new, and I think they're just getting started on the football field. They just got a new football field, and they're going to build in a stadium around it. So that should be nice.
Right in time for your leaving.
I know, right?
So, one of the questions I like to ask the guests, you succeeded in high school, but then when you made that jump from high school to college, it's certainly different. Can you talk a little bit about that, what that felt like, some of the adjustments you had to make, from training perspective, playing perspective, and just an overall perspective?
Wow. So when most of the time, if you're a freshman going in, you're coming in as a freshman and you're joining a program, you kind of just got to like put your head down and go to work. Like most of the time, you're not going to start, you're not going to play. That's almost 90% of the time. The other 10%, you're probably a super freak athlete and the school brought you in to play right away. Like you already know that. But you have to develop and you have to get these skills that you really don't get at the high school level. And it's just like the coaching is different, the workouts are different, and you might not even have like the muscle mass to be able to play with guys who are 350 pounds on the field, or 320 pounds, especially as an O lineman. Like it's very hard to go out there and then just perform like that. So when I first got here, I remember the first day, I thought I was coming here to be at the end. I come up the stairs and the first day you get to campus, you move in your room and then you walk to the field and you do like combine testing almost. You're doing 40s, you're doing 5-10 5s, you're doing vertical jumps, you're doing all that stuff, right? So the offense gets a red jersey, defense gets a white jersey. I had a white jersey in my locker for defense. I go up to the field. We're in stretch lines, and I got cursed out first day. Like, Principato, what the F are you doing? Like, go downstairs, go get a red jersey. I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even do anything. Like, I went down there. I was like, can I just get a red jersey, please? To like the equipment staff. I came back upstairs, and for me, that was like the most humbling thing because it's like I didn't even do anything wrong, but I just see like it's a tight ship. Like anywhere I'm gonna go, it's gonna be a tight ship. So I put my head down. I didn't really get any type of playing time till like late my sophomore year. Junior year, I started playing a lot. They moved me around the tight ends. I was doing that. I helped a little bit on the O-line when I was a junior. And then senior and sophomore year, I played. I think I've accumulated 1,700 plus snaps. So I had a pretty decent career. But, yeah, you definitely just got to show up to the workouts. Can't be late. Like it's gruesome almost. Like, and you only get a little break. You get a little break right after the season, and then in the summer, right before you guys start really working out, you get like maybe a month. So other than that, you're football all year.
Can you talk a little bit about how important recovery is, especially going from in season right into off season training, and kind of what your routine was like with that?
So for recovery, I even got I use a lot of Hyper Ice products. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Yes.
I got the massage gun, I got the back massager. Those things are my favorite things. And I actually have a good recovery guy out in Paramus. His name is Rick. He's on. I don't know if you guys ever seen him. He's on Instagram. His Instagram is Big Blue Gators. Maybe or may not, but he would give me some like any type of treatment I needed. He had like a masseuse there. They all work with NFL guys. I took my recovery very seriously because when I was up here, I had broke my foot, and then not only that, I have 2 torn labrums. So I'm going up there. He's giving me like when in the off season, I'm getting PRP. Then I'm getting they're massaging me, making sure my muscles are good. Then after that, he's like working with me. Like it was just that was a tough time for me when I torn both my labrums because I'm trying to be an O-lineman. I'm trying to punch and move with guys, and every time I'm punching, I'm in pain. So that was hard for me.
Yeah, recovery is a big part of college athletics for sure.
Well, especially as a wrestler too.
Yep.
You guys get beat up all
Yeah,
the
I was
time.
getting I was getting PRP, cupping, and anything that would make me feel better. I was sitting in hyperbaric chambers. I was everything.
Hyperbaric chamber is really good. I used it all the time. That cupping done all the time. All the little things matter. All of those things matter.
Yeah, I love the hyperbaric chamber.
Gianni, you touch on something that I think kind of goes a little unnoticed with younger athletes today. So whether it be middle school to high school or to high school athlete, and just what does that mindset have to be? You both of you guys here, John at the table, you here on the screen, played D1, but any level. I mean, our good friend Aldo, D2. We've had other guys in here as well that have played Division III. So it really doesn't matter what level, but especially at the Division I level. What's that mentality as you're building up to that moment? What's that piece of advice that you can give out to those kids today that may hear this, or the families that may hear this, that say, hey, this is not as easy as it sounds.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is not as easy as it sounds, and it's not all unicorns and rainbows. Like you gotta really come in here, put your head down, because everybody else, especially if you're a team and these people want to win, they're gonna push you to be your best self. And not only that, if you are gonna be the person who's screwing off and you're not helping the team and you're a distraction, people are gonna tell you like, yo, like just leave. Like there's been plenty of times where kids have done things like that, and we've had to, or like 2 people go and sit up and talk to him and be like, yo, like that's not gonna fly here. Like we had one kid come here, his locker's dirty every day. If a locker is dirty and the coach comes in the locker room and sees it, we're all running after practice. Nobody wants to do that. So they kind of implement these rules where it's almost like we have to check on ourselves. Like you're not gonna get babied. They're not gonna come in here. They're not gonna say, all right, do this. You're not gonna get 10 chances. You get 1 chance. So, and everybody else is on the same ship. If not, you got to get thrown overboard.
From a training perspective, when you were going through your high school career, and you realized, hey, the next level is legit and there's an opportunity to go D1, did anything change in your mentality getting ready for that day?
Definitely just being consistent in how I worked. Like I felt like I feel like, I mean, I don't know how it is now, but I feel like a lot of high school programs could definitely use better strength and conditioning training. And St. Joe's, we had a group of guys that would go in the gym and work, but it was never structured.
Right.
So I feel like once I got there, I would structure my workouts and be more disciplined to get them all done, because it wasn't like we had a coach come in there and tell us what to do. It was like, you did whatever, or if somebody wrote a workout on the board, we just worked to it. But I feel like that's extremely important.
I follow someone on Instagram and Keller Training Systems, and he likes to put a lot of stuff out there, and basically he tells the truth, and he's educating kids and families. And he's like, if you think you're going to get stronger and play at a high level, at the next level, lifting once a week, you're fooling yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think enough families and for that matter kids fully comprehend what they have to do to compete at any level in college, never mind the Division I level, which in a lot of places is almost like being a professional athlete these days.
Yeah, like when you talked about Aldo being D2, like they played us a year or 2 ago, like, you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter, yet you're D2, but you're gonna have the platform to play other people. Like New Haven ended up going from D2 to D1. Like D1. You never know what can happen. So
no, you don't. And I watched that game, and that was a rainy day, and I know you guys came out on the better end of that. If I'm not mistaken, 10-3. That snap that went over to St. Anselm punter's head right towards the end of the first half that you guys were able to punch in for a touchdown was the deciding factor of that game. Now I watched that game, so it was special because it wasn't just Aldo. I knew you were there. You had Chris Kamar. There were so many guys from that team that had worked and trained with me. I think even that when you had come in, a handful of those guys were there. It was fun to see that game and to see them compete. And rainy day, bad snap, and you guys came out victorious. But that's just the way the ball bounced that day.
But yeah, like even that, like those guys were competitive. They were in that game. Like I know I didn't play that much that game, but I know like if you that's another thing too. Like you come out, you underestimate a team. It's like they say, any given Sunday, like it could shift anything. Like that play could have went their way, and then we could have ended up losing that game. So yeah.
So what was one of your proudest moments in your career, or like a time during a game that you'll remember forever? What's one moment?
I'll never forget. It was my basically my first start. It was versus UConn, and we're going up there. We're going to Storrs, Connecticut. We're in the bus. We're driving through. You see a bunch of people outside, tailgates. It's rainy, and then we get to the field, grass field. You're in a stadium that could fit thousands and thousands of people, and you just look around and you're just like taking it all in, and you're like, wow, like I'm about to play here. People are about to watch me. I'm gonna be on ESPN. Like people, my friends, family, everybody else back home, they could watch me. Knowing that I had my family coming to the game, that was huge. And yeah, going out there, I think I played one of my greatest games in my career there, and that was one of my first starts. I remember I had a pull block on a kid, and I decleated the kid, and then I like jumped on top of him after I got like a flag for that. But that was very fun for me. I'll never forget that. And then just walking out of the stadium, this huge, steep like walkway, just to go on to hug my family after. I'll never forget that.
When you look at your career and playing, and for the most part, you came out of it relatively healthy. How would you, when you look at the word success, how would you define that for your career?
I would say very successful. For me, I feel like I beat the odds in a lot of scenarios. Like I came in here, we had 3 guys who were basically NFL linemen when I came in here. We had an NFL running back when I was here, and then once those guys started to like dwindle out and go their way, like they brought in a transfer over me, and then I was playing tight end, and then somebody got hurt, and then I filled in for like whatever it was for my senior year, and then I finally was didn't have to deal with anything when I was a grad student and playing through that. So I feel like I was hit with a bunch of adversity through my entire time here. Yeah, I could have ran away. I could have went and played D2. I could have ran and played D3, but I came in here and I gave them a commitment that I'm going to come in here. I'm going to be the best person I can be every single day. And that's what I did. I came in here. I was the best person I could be every single day, best guy for my team. Did a lot of sacrifices, and eventually I feel like basically rewarded with that. I came in here, I got my playing time, I got my career snaps in, like I got us I left this program better than when I found it. We came in here and we finished off our most recent season 8-4, only losing to teams who have won conference championships, which sadly we're not in a conference, but yeah.
So now that your career is concluded, where do you see yourself within the next year, 5 years from now? What's next?
I've been looking for an agent. That's been kind of hard though. Trying to get a pro day and still work out. But as of right now, I'm finishing up my master's. I got a little side gig working, and then as soon as I conclude my master's, the guy I was talking about before that I went to for sports medicine, his name is Rick. He actually put me on with his cousin, who owns a financial firm in New York. So I'm gonna talk. I already had a few conversations with him, but definitely gonna hit him up when I finish my degree, my second degree, and then hopefully work from there. I eventually want to have some businesses. I want to own some property, but I'm young right now. I kind of just got to find my way at first, and then I'll be good. But yeah, I'm interested in that. I even want to like start training kids and like be like a mentor almost, like explain to them like, hey, this is this. You can't act like this. You got to do this, like, and just like lead the way, not only in a football area, but like a mindset area.
Life's all about connections, right, Harry?
Yeah, I was gonna say you definitely touch on something we joke around too. So that I think John and I were thinking the same thing when you kind of mentioned that, because this podcast is all about that. I mean, sure, you and I know each other, but it was Aldo who connected us, and I think it's an important. You touched on something very important that I think the younger kids who are listening to this need to hear. You don't want to burn bridges. You want to absorb as much information as you can, because you never know who you'll meet, when you'll meet them, and at what time you will meet them. And that if you leave a very good impression on somebody, they'll remember you even if you forget them.
Yeah, always keep your bridges open for sure. I don't think I ever burn any bridges. Like, you just gotta be nice and just talk to people. You might figure out something that you don't even know. I remember I was in St. Joe's. I was talking to some kids, and I ended up finding out one of the kids that I went to school was my cousin. So
look at that.
A bunch of marriage relatives, but
small world.
Yeah.
So what's that one piece of advice to the families, to the kids that are listening out there, to the Destination Talk podcast, that you can offer to them as they're growing in their athletic career?
I would say be disciplined as you can. Don't try to compare yourself to anybody, because comparison is the killer of joy. And just understand that it's only you and the man in the mirror. So you're going to get up, you got to do what you got to do every single day, work hard, and then everything else will be up to yourself and God. He'll take you there. So just keep your head down, keep grinding.
I think that's great advice. And you did touch on a moment ago about, trying to hook up with an agent. Regardless of what happens with that, are you open to exploring ideas? Because there are other opportunities to continue playing, whether it be in Canada, USFL, indoor arena league. So are any of those are they on your radar at this point as well?
I have a buddy who just signed with, I think they're called the Dallas Renegades in the UFL.
Right.
I would be interested in like a UFL, CFL, NFL, but if it's like overseas or arena league, like I'm just good. I don't want to explore that myself, because I feel like
start life.
I feel like I would be better just working. Like I've never been out the country, so for me, if I gotta go out somewhere and play football I think they don't get paid handsomely. So it's like you're kind of going there for like a vacation almost. That's how I view it. But
competing for the love of the game at that point.
Exactly.
Anything else?
No. Anything else out of you, Gianni? What do you think?
No, I think this was a great podcast. I appreciate you guys having me.
No, we thank you very much for being a part of it. And, we want to thank you for being on the Destination Talk with us. We'll give another shout out to our buddy Aldo for helping connect and put this together. He's a wonderful person. Everyone in this room knows who he is. Continued success. Anything that we can do to help you, please know that you can always reach out. Anything we can, we'll be happy to do. And that's a wrap on episode 44 of Destination Talk with Paz and Harry. We're getting closer to episode 50, so make sure you stay with us. And until we see you again,